Greetings. My name is Georgette Bullock, and today I'm going to be doing a presentation on an evidence-based practice called Coping Power. My agenda today is to cover an overview of Coping Power, the interventions, and research about the efficacy of the interventions for the Coping Power program. So I want to start off with the introduction. Children with high levels of aggressive behaviors and conduct problems create major management problems in school settings and interfere with the learning environment of their classroom and with their own academic achievement. Coping Power, which is a contextual social cognitive model, can provide a framework for understanding risk factors involved in the development and maintenance of aggression and conduct problems in children in the school setting. Coping Power. So pretty much when we think about it, we know that aggression and other disruptive behaviors, when you have both of them together, they're referred to as conduct problems, in schools are the forefront concerns of concerning issues for parents, students, educators, and school administrators. Aggression, for example, verbal or physical threats or attacks, and other disruptive behaviors, for example, defiance of authority, lying, and cheating, also have a potential to cause serious harm to students' emotional, social well-being. They're going to disrupt the classroom environment, and to the limit, they're going to have a limit on other students' ability to achieve their full academic potential because they're being disruptive in class, showing certain behaviors. So a lot of times they're going to be referred to the school counselor. Now, the purpose of the coping program is to prevent the developmental of antisocial behavior in adolescents by modifying child social information processing problems associated with childhood aggression. Coping Power is designed for children approaching the transitional stage from middle school, especially 4th and 5th and 6th graders. And is typically delivered to those who identify by their teacher as aggressive or disruptive. The program is geared toward children in late elementary years until early adolescence. So this program is basically targeting the age group of students who are about to transition from elementary to middle school. So we really want to work on that aggression before they get to middle school. Now, as far as the interventions, Coping Power is based on the Early Anger Coping Power program. It emphasizes the social, emotional skills that are needed during the transition to middle school. The program incorporates children and parents components. The child component consists of 34 50-minute group sessions and periodically individual sessions over the course of 15 through 18 months. Although the program can't be shortened to fit into a single school year, the lessons focus on goal settings, problem solving, anger management, and peer relationship. All these are needed for these kiddos during this time. The parent component is composed of 16 group sections and periodically individual meetings. The lessons support the child component of the program and addresses things such as setting expectation, praising, discipline, managing stress, communication, and child study skills. Now, the cost of this program, the running cost for child and parent groups with up to 8 child participants, and that's usually the range is anywhere from 4 to 8 participants. With their parents, the total cost of this is $733. Plus, you have to pay the cost for the staff time and training. A basic training workshop for up to 30 participants costs $5,000, plus the trainer's travel fee. Or they can pay $1,000 per participant for on-site training. Intensive staff training is recommended by the developer, and it's provided for a fee of $100 per hour. So pretty much what this saying is, this program is actually taught by a trainer. When the trainer comes in, this program may be out of some of the school budgets. So the great thing about this program is once it's implemented, the trainer can provide like one staff member with that intensive training, and that staff member can collaborate with others on how to get the program rolling. Now we're going to get into the interventions of the program, the efficiency. So I was looking at the American Psychology journals, and there was this one particular journal that I really loved. The data was collected as part of the research project that evaluated the effectiveness of the the Coping Power program intervention for aggressive children. Now, prior to the start of the intervention, fourth graders, teachers in 65 different classrooms, 17 different schools completed a screening questionnaire for 1,382, 50% female children, so the other 50 was male. The teachers indicated the race for 93% of the students. 53% of them were African American, 40 were Caucasian, 3% was Hispanic, and 4% was Native American, Asian, or other. These percentages were comparable to school district levels of race, which pretty much laid out to be 55% African American and the other 40% Caucasian. During this evaluation, they did come up with, as expected, that poor classroom environments were associated with poor student outcome. They did say that the coping program can be used with schools that have proven effective for long and short-term prevention purposes. So pretty much with that study, they got the results pretty much from a questionnaire. In that questionnaire, they noticed the behaviors of the other students were affecting others. So for an example, you would be in the 5th grade, and what will happen is if you have 2 kids that are being aggressive, disrupting class, they could have another individual that is going through something who may pick up on that certain type of behavior. And in turn, that child is now labeled with aggression and will be sent to the counselor's office. To help out with this, they were just asking, when the teacher noticed that 2 or more students are being disruptive, to go ahead and pull them to the side to get them some counseling so that it doesn't make others want to act out as well. Now, there also was another study that I found, and this one was actually from the textbook for the class, where it says, a series of studies have examined the efficiency and effectiveness of the Coping Power as indicated prevention program for aggressive children and for the unique subpopulation of youth exhibiting severe conduct problems. In a traditional school setting, Coping Power has been found to produce preventative effects on delinquent behaviors and substance use at a 1-year follow-up, with the strongest effects emerging when the child and parent both participate. Path analysis indicated that interventions effects are least partly mediated by changes in boys' social cognitive processes and changes in parenting process. Okay, so let's talk about this. So on this particular case, they noticed that the children were doing really well in the program. In these studies, they noticed that a lot of parents would start the program, but they wouldn't finish the program. So when they looked at the questionnaire, a lot of the parents answered truthfully on the questionnaire and said that they were going through things as well. They wish that this model could be offered, like virtual or something that they can do on their own time versus during like a schedule. Other parents stated that they had jobs and oftentimes they had other kids to look after. So being that this program is so lengthy, a lot of the parents couldn't follow through. When this study talked about the changes in boys, it's kind of hit or miss with the boys. Like they said, it was a 50% chance that the boys' social cognitive progress would change, during the interventions. So with this one, it was very interesting because there was a case where the kid was pretty much being abused by the dad. He was given custody back to the dad, but when the kid came to school, he was often aggressive, just destructive. Grades started falling. When he reached out to the school counselor, he explained that, him and his mom and dad were going through a divorce. Unfortunately, dad got custody because dad was the one was working, but dad was also putting hands on the kid. Abusive reports were made through social services, but the dad ended up getting custody back. And this particular one, the boy in the study didn't do so good in the program because the father stopped going to the session. So the kid just lost interest and didn't want to complete any of the sessions as well. That's why this program is very important for parents and the child to be on board. And parents play a major role because education starts at home. Okay, so now I want to talk about an angerment workshop that I would like to complete. So this program is going to be an anger management workshop. Now, to complete the workshop, counselors would need to spend around $10 on materials needed. They can go somewhere like the dollar store, Walmart. So the materials that are needed is pretty much a introduction worksheet for anger management, and you can get that from therapistaid.com. It's online. They have a lot of worksheets to help kids with aggression, anger, coping skills, a lot of good material, and it's all free. But for this, they need materials for the anger management worksheet, folders, stickers, scissors, colored pens, and pencils. So on this one, I'll give you guys a little preview of what I'm looking at on my screen. But it was just a preview of like I did it, like it's actually a really session that I would give the kids. But pretty much the topic would be introduction to anger management. The students will be 6 students. I would have 3 4th graders and 3 5th graders. All who were referred to the counseling office for aggression or disruptive behavior in class. The place would be in the professional counselor office. The time would be 11 o'clock. So we're going to start off with the focus. So in the focus, this is going to break down what we're going to do. What is the program all about? So I would start off by doing what we call as an icebreaker. This is a very good technique to get the kids warmed up to each other because they don't really know each other. So it's kind of good to warm up to one another. So at the time, we would begin the icebreaker by introducing ourselves. We would pretty much just say our name, say what grade we're in, and we would do something like favorite food, movie, or something that we would like to be when we grow up. So while we're doing the introductions, we're actually going to put everyone's seat in like a circle so that we can all see one another. And I don't know, it just feels good, like you're a team, like you have that consistency. So while they're doing the folders, that's when I'm going to go around and I'll start putting the folders in the middle of us sitting around the round table because there's only 6 of us. So it'll be all the materials like the folders, the scissors, the stickers, all the good stuff needed for this. And I would put the worksheets, well, they'll all have their different worksheets in like a little paper clip. So then we'll go ahead and we'll start creating our folders. So this will be good because like the students is already warmed up, did their introduction, know a little bit about each other. So while they're creating their folders, they notice that, hey, you like pizza, I like pizza as well. What kind of pizza do you like? So this is very good, the icebreaker, to get those conversations started. So while we're creating the folders, we're going to go ahead and start defining anger. What is anger? And then we're going to discuss, how is anger different from aggression? After we did that portion, we're going to move on to topics such as triggers, the expression of anger, and consequences of anger. All of these issues are very important for this angerment workshop. Because triggers, what are triggers? Triggers are something that's going to set you off to make you be angry. It's something that something did or something that you're thinking about that just triggered you to have this reaction to want to be aggressive, okay? The expression of anger. This is so important. Kids would often say, I know when someone's angry because my mom would have like the wrinkles on her forehead, or she'll be standing like this with her hands at the door and it's like, we'll need to talk. So just some expressions of anger. Also, we're going to talk about the consequences of anger. This is very important because when you're angry and you act on that anger, is probably not the way you're feeling, and a lot of times we take it out onto those who are close to us. So those are some consequences that we're going to look at as well. So we're going to start with the agenda. So on the agenda is the introduction to the anger management worksheet. It challenges students to what they know about anger management. Students will learn that inappropriate and uncontrolled anger is harmful for both the targets of anger and the angry person as well. Inappropriate anger destroys relationships. It also makes it difficult to concentrate on schoolwork, and it takes a heavy toll on the angry person's physical and emotional health. Okay, so now I'm going to take the slide over so that you can get a peek of the worksheet. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera around a little. So if you can see, it starts off by saying, what is anger? Anger is a difficult feeling when you're angry. You might do bad things that you wouldn't do if you were happy. But did you know that it's normal to feel angry from time to time? It happens to everyone. Then on the example, it says, draw a picture of what you look like when you're angry. Give them time to do that. Then the next portion is, what's something you say only when you're angry? This is very important because a lot of times when we're angry, we say things that we normally wouldn't say when we're angry, when we have time to think about it. Now the next portion, what is anger? All sorts of things can make a person feel angry. Some people get mad when they have to follow a rule they don't like, or when a person is mean to them. List some things that cause you to feel angry, and they have a session to list the 5 things. After they list the 5 things, we would go around and we would say what things make us angry. Then the last third sheet, it says, what is anger? Even though it's normal to feel angry from time to time, it's never okay to be mean, break things, hurt others, hurt yourself. Learning to control your anger is about learning ways to act when you're upset. Here's a list of healthy things you can do when you feel angry. Circle the ones that you may try. So we have taking a deep breath, draw your anger, doing jumping jacks, write about your anger, count to 100, walk away, talk to someone, squeeze a stress ball, play outside, or listen to music. Practice a hobby. So that was pretty much the anger worksheet. So the great thing about it, I have what we call is the anger management skill cards. So with these anger management skill cards, there's a total of 3. So I'm going to show you what they look like. So on the first card, it'll say take 20 deep breaths, Draw your anger, do jumping jacks, write about your anger, the things that we just had on the slide. Count to 100, walk away, talk to someone about your problem, or squeeze a ball. And the very last set of cards, play outside, listen to music, practice a hobby, or what's your own idea? So with these cards, they will actually get to cut them out with the scissors, and they can stack them like a little deck of cards. There's 4 cards on each, so they would have a total of 12 cards. This will be a good time to let them doodle and draw on the cards, something to keep in mind, when they're feeling angry. So that would pretty much be the workshop. The workshops should run around 50 minutes. After the workshop is complete, we would give out a questionnaire to what the kids thought about the workshop, what did they learn. We always do a summary of what they learned because we want to make sure that they're getting something out of the workshop, meaningful, effective psychotherapies that they can use to help them get through these angers as far as with coping skills. Very important, very, very important. So now we're going to talk about collaboration. Implementation manuals for anger coping and coping power include recommendations for working with teachers to maximize the program effectiveness. Teachers play a particular important role in students' ability to generalize skills learned in programs meeting to the classroom. For this reason, communication between the leaders, which means the social worker, and the teacher is critical. Through the goal-setting process, teachers help to identify important targets for the intervention and provide feedback on the student progress. So this is when we talked about a big portion of the Coping Power program is for them to set goals. It's very important for that teacher and that social work to collaborate because all of us will be on the same page. We'll know what goals this kid wants to achieve. The teacher can give us certain feedbacks on, hey, we noticed that Johnny was getting upset, started banging on the table. So when he came to one of our anger management workshops, we told them, to do such breathing exercise or count to 100 or doing such coping skills to help them, get through the day so that they're academically on track. So when we talk to the teacher reach out and she'll say, hey, Georgette, the kid that I referred, Johnny, he's doing so great now. When he gets out of control, I'll notice that he'll take a step back. I'll see him over there doing a little breathing, and it's like 100% better. Like he's doing so much better in the class. He's also maintaining his goals. He's staying focused. I'm not having to do referrals or put him out on the class. He's participating in the classroom. Like he's doing really well. These conversations are needed because, if Johnny was still acting out, that would be a perfect time for the school counselor to reach out and say, hey, let's go ahead and revisit what we did last time as far as the coping skills and what you can do when you feel yourself getting angry or irritated, okay? School counselors are also encouraged to inform teachers of program content and skill taught so that the teachers can encourage and reinforce students' use of those skills under natural occurring conditions. So that's what I just stated, how if we're working together and I'm letting her know that the skills that we worked on are vital to help him, get through this, okay? So again, this evidence-based program, Coping Power program, is very good for students, again, who are transitioning to middle school, who are having behavior issues, being destructive, having the 2-in-1. We know that is a conduct problem. And the coping program, I know that it's lengthy. A lot of times we're not going to be able to do it over the whole year because it's 15 to 18 months, but we can see if we can fit as much as we can into that year so that we can make progress with the kids before they transition to middle school. And to end, the coping program for aggressive behavior in children utilizes a combination of social, cognitive, emotional processes that contribute to the development and maintenance of aggressive behaviors in students. This intervention was developed for children with extremely physical aggression issues as well as property damage. By doing this program, we really had to focus on the parent and child interactions to improve the destructive behavior. This is important. Like we said, we have to make sure that parents and child are all on board for this particular program to work for these kids. But the results have been amazing. My name is Georgette Bullock. I thank you so much for listening to my presentation for the coping power. I'm sorry for messing up on the words, but I was so nervous. But again, I thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my evidence-based project on coping power. Thank you so much and have a great day.